Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Bonnie. Bonnie is from Miami, in Florida, in the USA. So let's see what Bonnie has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm doing very well, William. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Of course.
So, tell me, how's your morning going so far?
It has been a good morning. It is the start of a very busy day that I'm very grateful for, but
Amazing.
it's been a very, very good morning, I'll say.
I think it's good to be busy. I love being busy. It's nice.
That's my brain. That's how my brain operates. I have to keep busy. I can't sit still and not do anything because then I just go mad. I gotta like keep moving.
Do you consider yourself to be more of a day or night person?
I'm a day person, and it's taken me a while to come to terms with that. Like,
Hmm.
I'm actually a morning person. I wake up naturally. I wake up like 6:30, 7 a.m.
Good.
Yeah. I'm not always happy about it, but like that that happens to be the case every day.
And where are you from, Bonnie?
I am from Miami, Florida.
Born and raised?
Born and raised. I have not left.
So tell me what was the best part, or what is the best part of waking up in Miami every single day besides the weather?
When the weather decides to act right. The best part of waking up in Miami is just knowing 8 times out of 10 you go out and it'll be like nice weather to just like be outside, unless it's a hurricane or it's rainy and wet or it gets freezing cold at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's very cold. Um, and yeah, and also just having like the beach not too far away from you if you want to go.
How far are you from the beach?
It depends on which beach. If I want to do like a beach where I have to wear a Speedo, that's like 45 minutes away.
Okay.
If we're doing like the nude beach, that's like 30 minutes away.
Ah, I like the way you explain with the speedos and the nudist beach.
Exactly. And we often end up at the nude beach anyway. So,
Which one do you go the most?
oh, definitely the nude beach. We 100% the nude beach. I don't want any tan lines. I want to feel the sun everywhere, feel natural. That's where all the cuties are. So, definitely
Ah,
there.
now I know when I'm coming to Miami, I know who I'm gonna call to guide me around the
I
beach. It's
will let you know. Yes.
not... And what do you do for work, for living?
So, by day, I am a fitness trainer,
Mhm.
and by night, I am a drag queen.
Wow. So walk me through a little bit more about your personal trainer journey so far and as a drag queen as well. How everything started.
Okay. So my fitness career started, it's 2024. I'll say about like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Um, I got a job at a local gym where I was like the maintenance guy. So I would just like clean up the equipment. And then with that job, I got a free membership and I would just start working out and my love for fitness just flourished from there.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, it's like 10, 11 years now. And then recently I got my bachelor's in physical education.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm very solidified in my passion with
Hmm.
fitness, the body, and helping people move their bodies. I have aspirations of getting a master's or doctorate degree. I just put in my application, so we'll see where it goes, but I know it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Um, it'll be in occupational therapy, which is similar to physical therapy.
Oh, wow.
And then yeah, that's my my PT journey. Now for drag, that started about 7 years ago.
Hmm.
On a whim, I just decided to enter this local drag contest. I looked awful. The wig was terrible. The outfit was garbage. I was wearing sneakers. I wasn't even wearing heels. Don't even ask me about the makeup. It was I looked like I was having a great time. I'll say that's the nicest thing people could say. They're like, "You look like you were having fun." And I was. And the thing is like I love attention. So from there, I just blossomed into this beautiful muscular drag spectacle.
Yes, I was checking your profile and I could see some pictures. The makeup, my God, the makeup I've seen, on it's like insane beautiful. I was like, wow, that's amazing. But it was like somebody presented to you, or you just went to a place and said, okay, I would like to start a career as a drag.
I was aware of it because in the community I was in, there's this okay. So there's Miami, and then about 40 minutes north is Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And within Fort Lauderdale is this area called Walton Manors, which is like this huge queer community.
Okay.
And I hang out there a lot because I like being around queer people. And
Mm-hmm.
I would just see the drag queens, hang out with them, talk to them sometimes. And then, yeah, on a whim, nobody really convinced me. I was just like, oh, an opportunity to be on stage. I know how to dance. I can borrow a wig. I could put some mascara on. I can make it work. It didn't work, but I had fun.
Amazing. Okay, Bonnie. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career and also about your life overall. Okay.
Okay.
Am I saying your name right, Bonnie?
Yep. Bonnie
Yeah.
Builder.
So before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself or something that not many people know about you?
Something interesting about myself. God, and I just hate talking about myself. Um, something interesting. I don't know if this is too crass for YouTube, but I have a notable buttocks that people comment on a lot. That's just the first thing that came to my mind is my butt. Because
Okay.
I train legs every 3 days. I train legs like a lot, a lot, a lot. I love doing legs. I used to be skinny in high school, so I love like
Mm-hmm.
packing on muscle and like weight and all that stuff. So from that, I do a lot of squats. I do a lot of what's it called? Glute bridges, and
Okay.
I now have a big butt.
Wow. And everyone spotted straight away.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And just another question, Bonnie, before we start working in the gym, yeah, when you started your career, were you a gym person? Were you going to the gym very often or not? It was just like it just came out the idea of starting working out when you start working the gym.
It came when I started working at the gym because prior to that, I was like an art nerd, like
Ah,
drawing and graphic design.
oh, wow.
So I guess I'm realizing now that I guess I'm still an artist, I guess. But yeah, I was like artsy, jock, and now both, I guess, combined to one.
Amazing. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, and I'm ready to dance for this box too.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Okay, so I've got here my best friend. From the fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Wow. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, for some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Right, first question for you is, what's the best advice have you ever received?
The best advice that I have ever received. Okay, I just thought of one, and it's a piece of advice I didn't appreciate as I was younger, but I keep hearing it more and more as I grow up. The advice is to really rely on yourself and be dependent on your own abilities. It's good to ask for help. It's really good to ask for help when need be, but you really have to like trust yourself and rely on your own strengths and talents and wisdom to really get you to where you want to go. You have to believe in yourself and trust that you know what's best for you, and yeah, really like ride your own train. It's good to have help, but like you are the best person for you oftentimes. So
And when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the best part of being Bonnie? What's the best part of being you?
being super attractive. No, I'm kidding. As well as humble. So the, the best part of being me is just I'm just so sure of myself and I have this confidence about myself that slowly developed over the years because I remember being a teenager and being so insecure, partly because being gay, partly because being black, and partly because being both. I just I was just so self-conscious about everything I did, and now I'm just like unabashedly, oh, I have more growth to do, but unabashedly myself. I walk
Mm-hmm.
into the I know I have my own back. I can take care of myself. I I like to think of myself as charismatic. I know how to draw your attention, and I it's conceited, but like I really do love myself, and I love expressing myself to others. Actually, if I could interject really quickly, I have one sentiment that is really controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't believe in being humble. Um, I looked up the definition of humble, and I don't have like the exact definition, but basically the sentiment is to reduce yourself to make others either feel good about themselves or not feel as bad. And my thought process is I can be great. I can be as great as I want to be all day. That shouldn't make you feel any lesser. You either want to believe in yourself the way I believe in myself, learn how I believe in myself so you can do that for yourself, or celebrate me with me. So,
Mm,
as confident as I am, I don't ever want to make somebody feel bad about themselves. I just want to show them, like, you can love yourself to no end, and it's not a bad thing,
wow.
basically.
Like that. Actually, I like the way you explained those things. And um, when was the moment that you turn around? As you mentioned before, you're not confident at all because the circumstances. But when was the moment that like, okay, now I am a completely different person? Did something happen, or just gradually you just felt like, okay, I started being more confident about myself?
I'm gonna attribute it to drag because that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because the concept of drag is as a character, you put on your own face, you put on your own wig, you put on your own costume, and you put yourself on stage. So this character that I made up in my mind, I have to be confident that she will be entertaining. And the confidence that I embedded in her, I sort of also implemented into myself as a man. Like I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I shower, I try to do my hair as best I can. I put on a really cute outfit and then I go into the world and I have to be confident in the person that I present to the world. Me in drag, out of drag. I have to think I'm really, really great because I'm my biggest cheerleader. So I think when I started drag about 7 years ago.
Oh, amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Next question. What gives you butterflies?
What gives me butterflies? So I'm gonna say very beautiful, romantic, intimate moments with my husband.
Wow.
Yeah, married, celebrating 2 years in March.
Wow, my God, that's beautiful. Wow. How did you pass crossed?
So the real tea is it was through an application that starts with the letter G. I don't want to say their name because they're not paying for this video, so we will not
Good.
get free advertising. So we met through an application, and the real tea is we started speaking in 2016, but I ghosted him. He'll never admit it. I ghosted him in 2016, and then we found each other's profiles again in 2017, but I we didn't remember each other. So we
Wow.
thought, oh, this is like a completely new person. And then we decided to go on a date, and the date was beautiful. It was natural. We just talked. It was lovely. And now, 7 years later, 2 years, about to be 2 years married, moments where it's just him and I holding hands, hanging out, cuddling, watching a movie or a show that we both love, making each other laugh at the stupidest thing, and just like loving each other and like drowning each other with like love and gushiness and like romanticness. those moments really give me butterflies because it's moments like that that make me remember that, oh, we're gonna be together forever because 7 years in, we can still like make each other giggle and have the best time when it's just the two of us alone in a room. And that's when
Wow.
I know that we're something special.
Wow, beautiful. What a I can see your eyes there shining now. And I can see him smiling watching this interview, right?
Because he's also
Uh,
very hot. He's a hot man, so that helps.
tell me what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity.
Okay. The biggest difference is I hate to admit it, but I'm more of a social butterfly than he is in more scenarios. When it's his environment, he blossoms, but like outside of that, he's tends to be a little bit reserved. Um, Similarity, our sense of humor. Like we know what to say to make the other crack up. And I think that's really, really if you everybody watching this video, if you want a good, strong relationship, sense of humor has to be the number one thing. No matter how good they are in the stack, no matter how hot they are, no matter how much money, if they can't even make you chuckle, it won't last too long. Humor is
Wow.
very, very important.
And he's from Miami as well?
Yes, he is. He's also born and raised. So we're two enigmas, two rare species.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of being a personal trainer? What do you enjoy the most? And the flip side, what do you find most challenging?
Okay. Really easy. What I find the most enjoyable is just impacting people's lives. I had a job where I worked in a hospital and seeing elderly people who couldn't live a life anymore, not because of like a major incident or a disease or anything, but just because of like functional decline, meaning like they just haven't moved their body. So they just lose strength, they lose muscle, they lose the ability to bend certain joints because they just sit on a couch all day, every day. They don't move much. So seeing people like learning to reuse their limbs and move their bodies and build strength and reach new numbers is a feeling that like can't be replaced by anything else. Like you're so proud of this person and they're happy that I'm there to help them, but I'm just even if I never see them again, I'm just happy that they now have entered the next phase of their life because they learn how to use their body. With that being said, it can be very taxing mentally, physically, and emotionally being everybody's cheerleader because you really have to pull yourself to like be their light. If they're not in the best mood, I'm not allowed to be in a bad mood. I have to be in a great mood to get them to a good mood. So I
Wow.
always have to like, check my energy and get them to like a really good place and make sure like I'm giving the proper energy so that we have a really good workout.
Wow. And of course, I always see a personal trainer as like a psychologist as well, because they deal with a lot of emotion. People, they feel safe somehow to open up and talk about what's happening in their lives. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's nice to have someone that you are helping physically, but at the same time as well, you are, giving some kind of your energy as well for them to open up and be there for you. And how do you do, for example, of course, not all the time those energy can be positive because, people, they are facing challenges. Sometimes they go to the gym to forget a bit or to try to put in a better place. Do you find a way for you not to take this negativity to your personal life? Do you have like something to block that or not?
Yeah, I sometimes do have to put up like an emotional wall.
Hmm.
And if they come to me with something negative or a hardship, I don't want to be like too like
Yeah.
positive patty because like it can come off as like condescending. But I really have to like sort of battle their negativity with some sort of positivity. I got to make them laugh. I got to make them sweat. If you're having a terrible, terrible day, you're going to have a great workout. This might be the highlight of your day, but at least something good happened today. And I want to contribute to that. So I do have to put up a bit of a wall and be like, you can vent, you can let it out. I understand, cry if you need to, but
Absolutely.
like, there's not going to be a cloud over this workout. We're going to pop this cloud. It's going to rain and we're going to dance in the rain.
Amazing. Next question is, which book had a big influence on you?
Which book? Oh, that's easy. So I have I don't want to get you flagged, but I have a tattoo right here that says "Stay Gold Pony Boy."
Okay.
That is from a book called The Outsiders. It is it's very an easy read. It's like fifth grade level reading. Um, and it's about people and things and stuff. But that quote right there, my dad would say it to me all the time growing up before I even read the book. And then when I read it, I was like, oh, this is where this is from. And the sentiment of "Stay Gold Pony Boy" is, despite any hardships or challenges or situations or negative people in your life, stay true to who you are, stay bright, stay pure, don't drop your value, and just like really just be that, I'm trying not to curse, be that, be that, it's really hard. It's really hard to not use a curse word. It's be that person that you know you are, basically, is the sentiment. So, The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the 50s. It's really cute, dramatic. There was a movie made about it years later. But yeah, The Outsiders.
Think that which person in your family you are more close to?
Like family that I'm related to. Bloodline related is, I'm just gonna collectively say my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a sister now, but she's very young. Growing up, I was raised as an only child because I was an only child. So my
Mm-hmm.
cousins are my siblings.
I
And
see.
so I'm not super close to like a lot of extended family members, but like cousins that I grew up with who have decided to stay in my life.
Yeah.
We keep up frequently. We follow each other on social media. I invite them to my shows. They've yet to show up, cousins, but I invite them. I try to involve them in my life as much as I can. And it's a very tricky question because like I'm not super duper close to like family period.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have my friends like close. Like I talk to my husband and my friends every day. Family, I talk to them like once a week, once every other week.
I
But
see.
I'll definitely say cousins.
I see. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next one. I'm gonna try to follow your moves, but I'm gonna drop the magic box on the floor. Next question for you is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
Ooh. So I'm obviously going to go back to my husband. Um, yeah, I can't like pinpoint one thing, and I can't repeat it because it's just my memories. I but the wedding vows that my husband said to me, the sentiment basically was he loved me very much. He he knew like I was meant for him and that he was meant for me, and he's excited for this beautiful life that we're gonna build together, that we have been since then. But like just standing there in front of all our family and friends, loved ones, and professing our love to each other, crying like a baby, trying not to ruin this tuxedo that we rented from the store. That was just, I can't repeat the words, but it was some beautiful words that was said that day.
Do you cry easily?
Um, no. So it always shocks me when I do. Like moments where I should be emotional, I'm like so in my head and methodical that I
Mm-hmm.
just bypass the crying part. But then I'll watch a random YouTube video of like children, like adults having dinner dates with their mothers who they haven't talked to in years, and I'm boo-hooing. Or I don't even know. Like I'm not a big, when I do cry, I know no, okay, let me get my thoughts in order. I'm an emotional person. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not a big crier.
I
I'm a
see.
big softy, big softy. I just don't, the waters don't leave my eyes that much.
Wow. And why is that? Just do you think it's just your personality, or somehow you learn to kind of keep the emotions there, or and somehow not to cry, if you know what I mean.
I think the way I was raised, like the people I was around, I was raised around a bunch of like emotionally charged people.
Mm-hmm.
So I always saw myself as, oh, I have to be the emotionally balanced one to sort
Right.
of offset all the craziness around me. So
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm emotional, I have to go into my logic side of the brain and sort of like compartmentalize and like numerically just like organize everything so that I'm not on this side losing my head.
I see. Okay. Three questions left for you. Let's do it. Right. Talking about a book before, and which movie had a big influence in you, if you can share.
It's hard to answer that one because like I so the first one that comes to mind is Lion King for some reason
Okay.
because that was like according to my mom that was a movie I watched over and over and over again as a child. I really can't see how it influences my adulthood now, but I love the movie. Um, as an adult, I'm a huge horror movie buff. Like I love horror movies all day, every day.
All day, every day, I
So
love
I can watch horror movies folding the laundry. Like I do not. I just love like monster and gore and horror and murder
it.
and all that good stuff. I know it's
Oh,
weird, but yeah,
no, no. Actually, funny enough, I had so many guests here on the show that they love horror movies, and I just go like, "Oh my god!" I run from them. Like, I really run from that.
no, you're just like my husband. Ah,
I literally, when I go to the cinema to watch a horror movie or a trailer, I'm literally, my hands are sweating. I'm literally like, my eyes always closed because I know when the silence starts in the movie, something's gonna happen, and I start getting like impatient. I'm like, oh my god, something's gonna happen. So I start closing my eyes. I start looking around because I know I'm gonna jump, I'm gonna scream, something's going to happen. So I never relax in a horror movie.
oh, you big baby. Oh no. Yeah, I
Seriously,
I love the moments where I get nervous and sweaty and I want to look away, but I'm like, no, this is what you came for. You have to look at it. You have to
I
get
can't.
something. That's what I want. Um, but yeah, I'll say horror movies are my biggest influence because they uh they influence me to have a good time when I just want to unwind. That's a weird way to answer that, but if I want to de-stress, stay at home, lay in bed, watch a movie, they influence me to relax and have a good relaxing day.
That's I agree with you. That's I agree because going to the movies is my therapy of the week.
Okay,
I
good.
seriously, when I go to the cinema, literally, I forget what's happening, outside, and I get into the story. Even if it could be a drama or a comedy, any movie, but for some reason, I just connect with the whole movie that I'm watching. That I forget about what's happening outside with my life, everything. So I think for me, it's my therapy of the week, going to the cinema to see a
Yeah,
movie. I love it.
get it.
Not horror,
DE.
not horror.
No, William, no. I'm gonna send you like a baby horror movie.
I could tell you so many stories that I went to the cinema with friends, and they start laughing because they can see me. They can see me like impatient, like touch my arms and looking around. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Anyway, if it, in the end becomes like a comedy for my best friends because they know that they start laughing.
I need to go with you one time because I would be cracking up.
Two questions left. Let's do it. For the next one, tell me, through your career as a drag, tell me a moment, a situation that you're never gonna forget. That for you was like, okay, that's the highlight so far of my career.
I have two that come to mind, but I'm gonna pick one. This one.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so actually, just last week, I was published on the cover of a local magazine around here.
Wow.
You can actually see it on my Instagram at Bonnie Builder. Um, it's a cover with me in drag and out of drag sharing the cover.
Oh wow.
And it feels like this community that I have loved for so long and that I've contributed to for so long is really like showing me appreciation in return. Um, Wilton Manors is that community. It just and to have people like find the magazine at the local bar or the barber shop or restaurant and then take a picture of it and send it to me, I feel a little famous. And for this next week, I'm gonna feel a little famous because I just feel like I've worked so hard. This character that I made up out of nowhere, out of thin air, is being recognized and appreciated and published, and her name is out there. People who haven't even met me know my name and know my face, and that just it feels like that moment when you just work so hard and you feel like, oh my God, people appreciate it and they're saying it, and it's just a wonderful feeling of being acknowledged for all of your hard work, especially when it's in art, like in what you do in interviewing and your media with me and my drag. When people just appreciate your art form, you're like, this came from my bare hands and you love it. That is wild to me. That is
Absolutely.
crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna pick that moment.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, what scares you the most about your future?
Whew. Okay, you can ask any of my friends or my husband. I love an uncertain future because I look forward to just all the opportunities that can come by and all the lovely surprises that can come my way. So being anything that scares me in the future is something that I'm looking towards. I'm scared about being not admitted, accepted into, we call it college, you guys call it university, into the Masters of Doctor program. That's scary. I'm scared about the future gigs that I'm going to get in drag. I'm scared about how bigger my butt's going to be because I'm going to buy some new pants. Like I'm just all these things are scary because I don't know what it looks like exactly, but
Mhm.
I'm excited for it and I'm accepting it. And if if I've taught myself anything in life, it's if I'm met with a new challenge, I will figure out a way to adapt. I will figure it out. I'm not going to run from it because running's not an option. You have to adapt to it, and I'm going to figure out a way to do that. So I'm scared of all the beautiful things to come and ready for them.
I love that. Oh my God, I got goosebumps now when you're saying that. It's very powerful, and I totally believe. I think when you start a new journey, when you know the opportunities will come, and if you don't feel scared, it's not. What's the point? You need to feel it. You need to feel it. It's part of the journey.
Exactly.
It feels like you're going the right direction because if something comes up and you feel like, okay, it's not the right feeling, but if something is coming now, it's coming, and you go like, oh my God, yeah, your heart
Yeah.
starts, oh my God, it starts, the uncertainty, it feels great. So it's a good sign that just go for it, because it's a good sign, because if you don't feel anything, what's the point?
Yeah. If you don't feel qualified, who cares?
Yeah.
The opportunity is there. You're going to learn, or you're going to learn a lesson. So
Absolutely.
say
Yeah.
yes anyway.
Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, people watch this interview right now. People who'd like to come to see you performing. Tell me something unique about your show, about your performance that stands out, and people they always point out, and you think like, okay, something different that you present in your show.
So something unique about my drag is my strong stature and how I utilize that in performance. Not a lot of drag queens can do pull-ups like I can. Um, I have a video of me squatting 315 pounds in drag.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
drag for 10 repetitions. They like to see these a lot, like see the girls dance. And I'm just like a very high energy performer. Like I will leave the performance sweating and dripping. I
See.
as like a bystander who enjoys drag and watches it as an audience member, I'm sort of clocking like, do they look like they're having fun? Do they know they're putting on a show? Do they want us to be entertained? Or do they think looking pretty is good enough? To me, looking pretty isn't good enough, even though I look very pretty. Um, yeah, it's got to be whether it's dancing or something crazy happens, or I do like a belly slide. Something has to happen to the performance to where when you're driving home from that bar, you're like, I don't remember her name, but that one drag queen who did cartwheels and like jump squats and like did pull ups and everything. She was amazing. There's got to be something that happens that like leaves me in your mind.
Wow. How long does it take for you to get ready for your show?
My face, I'm gonna say like an hour now because I know what I'm doing now. Um, Costume, 20, 30 minutes. Wig, I can do that like at the last minute. So like just short of 2 hours from start to finish.
Okay. Last question is, if you could have been a moment or event in history, which one that would be and why?
If I could be at a moment in history or an event.
Yeah?
Um, hmm. See, it's scary to talk about history as a Black person because history hasn't always treated us too nicely.
Yeah.
Um, I will say, I'm going to say the gay club scene in New York in the 90s or Miami. I'm going to say Miami or New York. The queer club scene in the 90s.
Hmm.
Since I'm so young, I was just a mere baby back then. I just hear these wonderful stories about like no camera, no phones, no documentation, doing whatever you want. As long as you had a friend to look out for you and you didn't go too crazy, it was like the best time of people's lives. And I'm like, I want to emulate some of that, but like everything's documented, everything's recorded, and you have to have a social media presence because so you have to take a picture of everything you do. So how
Hmm.
does it feel to be in a warehouse, sweaty, covered in glitter, just dancing to music that probably doesn't sound that great? Just like twirling, twirling, twirling with your friends, creating memories, kissing, hooking up with the hottest person in the room because who cares? And then just doing it again the next day. So I would like to experience that and see what that felt like at the time.
I love that. I wish I had superpower. When I think about superpower, I would love to go back. I grew up in the 80s. I'd love to go back in like to have a weekend in the 80s, like in London. Let's see, you know what I mean? The gay scene. I think it would be amazing to see, as you said, no technology, no, nothing. People, they literally to meet people, you need to go out. You need to, to be there. You need to, and I'd love to have a moment with my age right now, like as I am, like to be in the 80s for a weekend, just to see, to feel the
Yeah,
vibe of, I think the same feeling as you're saying now would be amazing to have this moment, and yeah, I think those moments you'll never always gonna remember. I'll always remember those when I see videos and like people posting those clubs in the 80s, in the 90s. I'm like, oh my god, how amazing it was, the energy. It's a different world right now. It's good, it's amazing right now as well, but for us to have this feeling of not technology at all and people just there paying ticket to get in, having the best of your life and leave. And you need to find a way to communicate with people. You know what I mean? There's no technology, so I think it's will be a great moment for sure. Right,
absolutely.
so the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money,
Cash,
fear,
trees,
sex,
me.
you and your husband for sure,
Yeah.
family,
Love,
life.
long.
One word for love.
I just thought of everybody's name who I love. So I'm just gonna say people.
Amazing. Religion,
Meh.
friendship,
Necessary.
politics.
Unnecessary.
One word for desire.
Shirtless.
Regret,
Past.
wish,
Money.
happiness.
Love.
One word for Miami.
Hot.
One word for USA.
Big.
One word for personal trainer.
Ooh, necessary.
Mm. And the last one now, drag queen. One word.
Glamorous.
Wow. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your husband for a coffee and I'm going to ask him, define Bonnie in one positive word and one negative word only, what he would say.
Bonnie, positive word. My husband would say hard working with a hyphen in the middle, so it's one word. Very, 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 very hard working. Negative would be, from my husband's perspective, needy.
Oh,
Yes, because like when you're trapped in the wig and the costume, you need somebody to zip you up in the costume. You need somebody to like get the sweat off your forehead. You need somebody to strap your heel on. You need somebody to drive you to the gig. You need somebody to drop you off, grab you food, grab you a water. So yeah, Bonnie could be very, very needy at times.
amazing. Let's play now Bonnie and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
Wow. Tell me what is written here in your muscles here in your the other side. That both the other one as well.
Oh,
Superhero and
and this is Darian. This is the name of my late brother.
okay.
April 20th, 2007. He was stillborn, so I never got to meet him, but that's my baby brother.
Oh,
And then this right here, superhero. Quick story. Before I had my ears pierced, I only had like two tattoos, and my husband had his ears pierced. I wanted mine's pierced, and he said, "No, piercings are my thing. Tattoos are your thing." So on a whim, I just quick switched. Like on my way to the tattoo shop, I was like, "Okay, then I'll get a tattoo instead." So I designed this on Microsoft Office Word, printed it out, took it to the shop, and it is now, well, it was my worst tattoo. Now it's my second worst tattoo because it's just so big and black and blocky, and there's just no context to it. Like, yeah, I like superheroes, but not that much. But now it's just like tattooed in my arm forever. Um, so yeah, I also have this one right here. This is a tattoo I got from our honeymoon. This is supposed to be Hawaii, where we did our honeymoon. And then the quote from the book, Stay Gold Pony Boy.
amazing. All
Yeah.
right. You can ask me a question now.
Okay. You are very inquisitive and you're very good at answering questions. Who was the first person ever that you interviewed?
Wow, good question, good question. And actually, you know it just took me back straight away to my first day of doing interviews. So I started doing the interviews 3 months before I launched the show. So it was in June. In June, no, sorry, March, June. No, yeah, more or less 3 months before I launched the show. And of course, I didn't. I invite friends, people who I knew it, because let's start with people who I know. Um, and I start briefly inviting people as well, the same way as invited you. However, at the time, my channel wasn't on yet, my website wasn't on yet. So imagine someone goes to you and say, "Bonnie, I'm creating a YouTube channel and like to invite for interview." You'll be like, "What?" you know. So the beginning for me was a bit like because people didn't know much about the idea, it wasn't visible there, so it was a bit tricky. Anyway, on the first day, I had 5 interviews. Can you imagine? I start already in a big style, yeah. So in different countries, and actually, one of my interviews was a lovely friend. She's from London, but she's living Miami actually, and she did her interview in the car. Anyway, but she wasn't the first one. I think she was the third one. I think the first one was my best friend. He's French and he lives in Canada, and I met one of his friends as well called Sebastian. He's French. He's from outside Paris, but when we did the interview, he was in his family house somewhere in the countryside in France. So so I set up with 5 people, but he was the very first one. And I remember, oh my God, I remember like my emotions. I forgot to do the word association game in the end. I forgot to do it because I was so excited and full of energy. So he was my very first interview I ever had for the Magic Box. And until now, we sometimes go like, I say, how are you? My first guest of the Magic Box. So we still keep in touch. We talk about sometimes. Fun story, fun story. Other person who participated in the show was a good friend as well, Michael, and he passed away. Sadly, he passed away, yes, 2 years ago. Sadly, and I find out, when I find out, I was like, oh my God. And of course, his memories is going to be always there. You know what I mean? Always. And I received a message from his friends as well, saying, William, it's so great to see, to see him there, and it's amazing. So he was my second interview, I think, that I did on that day. Another funny story as well about my first day. So I had 4 guests who I knew it, yeah, friends, and one of them, it was a random person that I invited. So I was like very excited as well. Guess what?
Well,
I forgot to press the record button. Yes.
no.
I know, and you never managed to do it again. Can you imagine? So it's meant to be. So nowadays, it was a lesson for me, because nowadays, when I'm going to start the interview, straight away I press here, because if I start talking, you know what I mean? I get so excited and I forget about it. And actually, I had other days that I start talking for some reason. I didn't press the button, and I remember, like, just before we literally start the interview. So that was a big lesson for me. You can imagine, I forgot to. It was a great interview. I remember he was from England. He's from England, and he was in the garden. It was a beautiful day, and he was so excited about the interview, and I completely forgot to press. I just realized when I was editing, I said, "My God, where is the interview?" And I forgot to press the button to record. So yeah, that was my very first day. But my very first guest here on the show, his name is Sebastian from France. Yeah, that was my very first guest.
Well, hi, Sebastian.
He's very good looking, by the way. He's very good looking.
Well,
Yeah,
hello, Sebastian.
I love it. I'll show him this interview. He's gonna laugh for sure.
Good.
Sebastian, I need to visit Miami, Sebastian. I'm gonna take him to your show. I'm gonna take him to your show now, Bonnie.
Bring him. My husband and I love making friends, so we'd love to meet you guys.
But he's straight.
Never mind, you can leave him. You can calm down.
We're okay with straight guys as well. We can manage.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the interview?
I absolutely adored it. I adore you. I was nervous about it because I didn't know what to really expect. I saw the videos beforehand, but I was like, I don't know if I'm good at like answering questions like that. But you made it like so easy to do this. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time for the interview. Thanks as well for bringing your positivity and your charisma to the show. Really nice. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
A message to live by. Well, it's been my sentiment the entire interview, but basically, do not dim your light to make somebody else feel better about themselves. Shine your light and encourage them to shine their light as well. So the world will be much brighter.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Regards to your husband, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.